Started. First video I wanted to shoot was how to set up and terminate VGA cables. So as you can see, we have our VGA in front of us. We've cut this one to length. This is our backup VGA from our EndoCam. So we've cut it to a length here in our dock station where we can easily access it. Have our VGA kit. If you can get your hands on this kind of crate material, this stuff is great for holding these small pieces out in here. You're also going to need a set of wire cutters. Having a set of shears is always handy, and then your actual termination pliers. So make sure you have the right teeth set in side. So we have our VGA right here. Personally, I like to use my wire cutters for this, and what I generally do is I'm going to go back about roughly 4 to 5 inches, and this is a matter of feel. It took me a while to learn how to do this properly, but all I'm really doing is kind of scoring this outer coating on this wire, and then that'll kind of expose that right there. So you can toss that. What you'll see is you'll have this right here, so you can cut this guy back, and you're going to have this other wrapping. This can come off. Got this piece of braided piece of steel in here. You can go ahead and pull that out. Pull this. There's this, I guess it's basically like a spacer for the 5 cables in here. And what I like to do is kind of pull these back and out of the way and cut both of these back. What I like to do next is take these guys. They're pretty even, and I like to go ahead and cut these all at an angle. I have to get a little closer for this. All I'm doing is cutting these all back, just like that. You can kind of see that they're all kind of angle cut now. We've got these on. You see they kind of space out the cables, which is nice. Gives you a little bit of room to work with. What we're going to go ahead and do is grab this kind of this tapered little piece right here. We're ultimately going to crimp this in the end, but we're just going to focus on this one cable right here, so you can kind of bypass all these guys. So that's going to be your first. Don't forget that. That's pretty important. So you can take your wire cutters. I go down roughly about 1 inch using 16 gauge right here. So I'll just kind of give this a little shot, pull back, and go ahead and toss that out of the way. Now you see you have all this steel wire in here, and I like to do is, you can see some people will fold it back, but it's easy just to kind of give it like a flick, and that'll kind of spread it all out, and you can basically just maneuver this all in one direction, kind of work it all towards one way. I like to give it just a little bit of a twist. Using your shears, I give roughly about just over 1/4 of an inch or so. I'll go ahead and trim that, take that ridge, and then you have this white little spacer right here, so this is going to go down right over. You're going to push that all the way down flush and just give it a little pressure so it's fully seated. These work great because they're spaced really well, so I like to go right down to where this hits. It's roughly 1/8 of an inch, and I cut that flush off. And then coming back with our 26 gauge, the smallest basic crimp that we can do on this, we're going to shear this off. And what you see here exposed is the actual inner core of the VGA. So now that we have that done, we can take our actual connecting pin. It's gold, and normally I have glasses on whenever I do this and a light on my head, so it's a little hard to see. But what you want to do is make sure that all of those wires, those really small, actually go inside of here. You don't need anything poking out, anything protruding, whatever. So taking our crimpers, we're going to use our smallest setting, our 042, and what we're going to do is come down all the way. Has a little set on the bottom, so you'll definitely feel it whenever you're there. Give it a crimp, and set those guys down, and then always a good habit to get into. Just do this every time, go around. You'll start to do it without even thinking about it. Is just give it a little pull test. Take your BNC and push this down. You'll basically, so we're going to slide this up right here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to, now that we've got this slid into place, Using our 178 setting, which is the most inward, I'm going to give that a crimp, and then we're going to slide down to our 128 and give that a crimp as well. So you can see, slide this up, and that right there is one of 5